I'm Steve Forbes, and you're watching Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuning in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have back with us once again Al Caicedo, president and owner of CKS Summit Group. Al, welcome back to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, so consumers have been cutting the cable cord, certainly for years. I hear it all the time. But this year in particular, 2018, we're seeing 5 million of them are projected to say goodbye to their cable company. This is a huge loss for them, probably about $5.5 billion overall in the industry. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, over the years, I think what's happening is that we're finally getting to a point where we are such a mobile society that we no longer want to be told when we have to sit in front of a TV anymore,
right?
And when we have to watch anything,
right? And
people are on the go, and I think that this is really, I mean, this to me is a paradigm shift. This is it's becoming kind of a seismic type shift in how people view entertainment.
You know, it's amazing because I think as technology progresses along, and certainly the smartphone has done this. In fact, smartphones probably affected many sectors and industries in cable. And, you know, and entertainment certainly is going to be one of them. I wonder if the cable companies, certainly they've had to have seen this coming now, but are they making any types of moves to get involved on where folks are going? You got to go where the consumers are, right?
You do, and I think I feel personally that they've been slow to move.
Yeah.
I do see people like Comcast and maybe Time Warner and things like that start offering now some type of streaming services and everything like that. But
sure.
They've gotten themselves in these massive contracts though, where they have to pay out to these different networks and everything else like that. That I think that their reaction time is being affected by that. So they're not being able to really move themselves as quickly as what the market is calling for because they're under the old, they're under the old system of 2,000 channels and people are only watching 5 of them.
Right.
But they're in contract with these different networks where they must pay for that. So for them to really get away from that, I think it's going to be, it's going to be challenging. And I'm sure they're going to get around to it.
Sure.
But I think it's been slow moving because of the fact that I think the way that they are structured is really affecting them in their ability to really be nimble and react to what the market is asking for.
Yeah, and that can be brutal for them. I mean, let's face it. I mean, look at Blockbuster Video, right? Slow to move. That literally was a kiss of death, and that's a great example of being slow to move. You know what? And I think when these companies, cable companies, are going to be engaging in these contracts, certainly they need to, they have to, right? But when they start engaging, they're going to have to really think on the horizon, not just for now, but on the horizon. Where are we going to be? Where do we need to land? Not a week from now, but maybe a year from now, or 5 years, or 10 years from now, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is going to be a big lesson for the big cable companies.
Yeah.
And really projecting what the consumer really, really wants.
Right.
Because, again, we just do not want, I know me personally, I just don't sit and watch TV the same way I used to, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And not even 5 years ago, not even 3 years ago. So, I'm pretty much an on-demand type of guy right now,
Sure.
and Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And we're seeing that shift, and I think that big lesson for them. And I think that as they start looking forward into time, I think they're going to start, creating a more what I would hopefully consider a more user-friendly type of format.
Right. Yeah, no longer do we have to time our day around the 4 o'clock news, right? 5 o'clock news. You're right. We can catch whatever we want to, with the vast amount of information that's out there when we want to, which is really convenient for us, the consumers. So who's cutting the cables? What's the age group? I mean, I hear a lot about millennials are cutting it, but I think a lot of different range of age folks are looking into alternatives to cable. But who's the majority of it? Is it millennials?
Millennials, yeah, absolutely. They are paving the way. As a matter of fact, I got into cable cutting, into cord cutting here because of my daughter, who is a millennial. She's a 23-year-old. I'm a 53-year-old man, and she's the one that's introduced me to pretty much all of it.
Yeah, the millennials are like kind of the core of the society, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't want to be at the mercy of a cord. They don't know what to do when they see a cord, and they got to get out of there, right? Where are they going? Because you mentioned Hulu. Are they going to Hulu? Are they going to Netflix? Where are they going?
Oh, it's going everywhere. I mean, we're seeing Hulu, we're seeing Sling, we're seeing Roku, we're seeing, they're going all over the place. Philo, and a lot of people don't know this, but PlayStation.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what else is making a comeback.
Yeah.
The antennas. Antennas are sexy again.
Really?
Because now with the capability with the antennas, you can get HD quality and get all your free networks, your ABCs, your NBC, CBS, etc.
Yeah.
And be able to get those through regular cable, and be able to see that. Now Roku also came aboard, and then they have the live ones where you can also get your local programming as far as your ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah, Roku's getting huger. They have like 13 million monthly subscribers, I believe, is the last time I read on Roku. So they're growing, just like all these other places. Here's the thing, though, is that with these millennials, they don't mind paying for that specialized content, do they? I mean, certainly there's a lot of free content out there that folks can get their hands on, but that paying that content, that takes that revenue. That's another revenue source that's being taken away from these cable companies. Are cable companies going to be able to combat that, or no?
Well, I think they will, but again, it's how fast can they get away from their current format? Yeah. How fast can they? For years they've been putting this thing together. Yeah. And they even made it complicated for a lot of people. Where for example, when I was on cable, for me to get ESPN, I had to get one package. But if I wanted ESPN2 or Fox Sport, it required a whole different package. It required 1,000 more channels that I would never even watch.
Right.
I think until they realize that we just don't want that,
right,
and don't need that, and that people just want to be able to have a buffet, have a smorgasbord, and be able to choose as opposed to being fed a family sit-down dinner.
So we're almost out of time, so let me ask you, cable companies are going to have to really shift towards a little bit more a la carte. Because like you said, you want one channel, but then all of a sudden you got to buy like 1,500 channels just to get that one extra channel. Are they going to move more towards that a la carte, or what?
You know what, from what we see, I think that's the way they're going to go. Yeah. Again, slow moving. It hasn't been a major shift. I mean, if you try to call your cable company today and tell them that you're moving out, the best thing they're ever going to do for you is maybe give you the introductory rate that they're giving other people.
Right.
But they're not adjusting what you can view.
Well,
so even as of today, even with everything that's happening, they still haven't made that adjustment.
Yeah.
But again, I think it goes all back to the way that they are formatted with the contracts that they have that they owe. To their providers. So.
Yeah, they're hamstrung. You took the words out of my mouth. They're hamstrung. They're at the mercy of that legacy contract that they're engaged in, and I think that's going to be a big problem for them.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think the next couple of years are going to be really, really interesting, and I think they're going to be dynamic. And I think that with the competition and everything else like that that's going to be out there, I think it's going to be to me, it's going to be fun dynamic times to see how this thing all works out.
Well, and I think the consumers are going to benefit from this because you're right. They have these what's called retention centers. Okay, they have whole departments just for retention to keep people in. We're out of time. Hey, Al, where can we find you at today?
SummitGP.com.
SummitGP.com, right? Or GT? Where's it at?
G as in George, P as in Papa.
Perfect. SummitGP.com. SummitGP.com. Once again, Al Caicedo is with us here today, president and owner of CKS Summit Group. Al, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having us. Have a great day.
You bet. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.